Greetings everyone, Joseph James here from SchoolTrade.com, January 19th, 2010. This is your live trade room recap. We took 4 trades today, had a pretty challenging beginning of the morning, but of course, once again, our patience always pays off. We stayed patiently waiting for the perfect patterns to show up, guys. We know what they look like. It's just up to us to control our emotions to wait until we see it all line up. All of a sudden, we got some big buyers on the tape. Our pace of the tape indicators are taking off. And before you know it, back to back to back to back winning trades. And guys, once again, this is why we don't curve fit our rules to fit today's price action. If you're always chasing after winning trades, guys, you'll be chasing winning trades until you have 0 in your account. So the easiest thing to do is remember, it's our rules that have made us all this great money all the way through 2009. It's those same rules I'm going to continue to use through 2010. Some days we're not going to have things line up properly. Some days we will. We took 4 trades. We had to wait for them. Totaled up 503, so just above 500 bucks, guys, on only 4 contracts today. Now, what was the most important thing that we learned today, though? It was patience, right? We woke up this morning, opened up our charts, and we saw nothing, right? It looked like it was the same yesterday. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of follow-through, and we began, of course, to start getting a little bit frustrated, right? It was the second day of the week. We were ready to trade, but again, we had to keep our emotions under control, right? We had to wait for it. The market really made us wait for it today. I want to remind you guys, too, right? The day isn't over until it's over, which means I can always make money at the last second, and I can give it back as well. So stay focused, follow 100% of the rules, right? The first trade today, guys, here at 10.29 on Crude, okay, guys, that was a great example of how we had watched probably 4 or 5 patterns this morning, which set up about 3/4 of the way, but we didn't see any follow through. We didn't see any big buyers or sellers to confirm the move, so we sat there waiting. At 10.29, though, this is our first trade of the day, and boy, it was a great trade, a perfect pattern. And it really kind of came at the best possible time, because about this time, we were thinking, oh boy, we may not see anything here today either. Short-term trend is down. We know the short-term trend is down because we can tell the trigger line, right, it has a nice steep slope to it. We, of course, have this red line here, right, this red line marked at 77.86, and then our swing low here. Now, all of these levels are marked up for me automatically. I don't need to do anything. All right, they're already located for me. We then look for, of course, all of our rules to line up. Momentum was pointing down, nice big strong sellers, increasing speed at the pace of the tape. We had 6 ticks or more of room to let that trade run. And of course, we took our first trade here, guys, at 10.30. 77 was the fill. We took our +4 target, right? First target of +4. Then I moved my stop down from 6 ticks back to entry -1 for a short trade. And then, of course, it then reversed right back up and bounced us out of this trade. So entry, guys, here just before 10.30 at 77, we got 10 ticks or 100 bucks out of it on our first move. Now, things kind of quieted down there afterwards. And as you guys have seen recently, we go through this kind of this dead period sometimes between 10:15, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. And so we knew, of course, we knew there was going to be some sort of sluggishness coming here. We didn't have any news events today, right? All we had was a 9 o'clock long-term tick flows, so we didn't have much else to really spark plug the rest of the buyers or sellers in the market, so we really had to wait to see what was going to happen. Once again, our patience pays off. We had to wait about a half an hour here, of course, right? Short-term trend is down. I can tell because of the slope of that trigger line. Of course, now here, guys, was a great example. Now, we've been talking in the live trade room about this 5-second rule. What is the 5-second rule? The 5-second rule seeks to overcome a trader's ability or their hesitancy to get out of a trade when it doesn't work out in their favor. Okay, remember, the longer we stay in a trade, the more the risk builds up. So I expect my first profit target to be filled very quickly. And we've said within 5 seconds. So if the first profit target is not filled within 5 seconds, I'm going to move my stop for a short trade down to my point of entry to simply lock out all the risk, but to keep the profit potential still in the trade. That's exactly what we did here. So just before 11 o'clock, got filled here at 32.9 when we, of course, break below this 33.3 level here. We mark up our swing low here, guys, just above or just below the 33.1. And we took the trade, of course, below. Entry here was at 32.9, right? A very simple breaker pattern going with the short-term trend, right, below that horizontal blue line here, right, this horizontal blue line, which is marked up as our swing low. But here's what happened. We got short at 32.9, and then we counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And once we hit 1, if we hadn't filled our first profit target, what does that tell us? That tells us whatever move we thought was there probably never showed up. Okay, so no matter what's going on, if the first target hasn't been filled after 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we then move the stop down to entry, locking out all of that risk, but preserving the potential for profit. And guys, we got kind of lucky on this one. This happens all the time, okay, where we got actually a +1 there, right? That's what we got filled. So we actually got 4 targets times 1 tick for a 4 tick, right? This $40, guys, may seem like nothing, but it's going to all add up in the end of the day. The biggest benefit here, though, is we didn't allow the market to just turn around and come back up and stop us out. We knew that as time progresses, right, time is not on our side. So as time progressed, we wanted to be careful. If we don't fill that if you don't fill that target within 5 seconds, I want to start looking at what's my exit strategy. Let's keep moving. Next up here was on the euro. Now, we haven't traded the euro very much in the new year yet. This is our first trade of the euro for the new year, 2010. We got, of course, the low of day here, right? That dark blue dotted line there, that's the low of day, a high profile level of support. We have our short-term trend down. We mark up our swing low just below that 42.68 level. Okay, 42.68. We got filled here at 66s. Now, remember, guys, the low of day, important we see what? Green pace of a tape. Size and speed on our time and sales window, right? Large sellers and quick aggressive speed. So of course we saw all that line up. Momentum was pointing down. 11.17 on the euro, symbol 6E, filled at 66. We got a +4, a +8, and then a +5. So our first target of +4, take 2 off there. We take 1 off, or a quarter of our position off at +8, and then we trailed our stop. Now we used the mechanical approach here because it was green pace of a tape. Remember, mechanical or discretionary. Discretionary trade management, red pace of a tape. Mechanical trade management, green pace of a tape. We had green pace of a tape. We followed our pink line on our trade management chart to lock in 21 ticks, guys, and at $12.50 per tick, right, that totals $263 on only 1 trade. So as you can see, guys, we waited a little bit here, but boy, now the profits begin to pile up. Okay, now we're just shy of $500, and our final trade of the day, guys, 11.36, back on the crude. We started on the crude, we finished up on the crude, and as you can see, guys, here, this is a sideways market, right? One of the easiest to see, right? We got double tops, we've got double bottoms, right? This is a sideways market. And guys, you've got to be able to manage a sideways market. How do we manage it? 2-step patterns, right? Counter trend trade patterns. So we've got the short-term trend being up. It's going to bounce off this 78.05 level here, 11.36 this morning, and of course we took it short here off 91. We mark up our swing low here at 94. We broke below this previous high of day. We also checked our medium time frames, and of course we're below that as well. We had to wait for a second to get the momentum indicator to shift going back down, but once we saw that, the sellers into the market, we got short below there, below 94, got filled 91. That's a +4. Take half off at +4, and then our stop down to our point of entry, -1 tick, where we took the second half off. As you can see, we had this little jump right here, about 11.37 there, kind of bounced right back up in our face, and that's what got us out of that trade. But we were able to lock up 10 ticks though, or $100. So add them all up, guys. 10 ticks on crude, 4 ticks on gold, 21 ticks on the euro, and finish it up, guys, with 10. Totals up 45 ticks total. Remember, though, guys, this is going to be $12.50 per tick on the euro, so total, guys, just over $500 in the live trade from this morning. Let's prep for tomorrow. Wednesday, January 20th, 2010. We got some early morning activity, guys. 4:30 a.m. That's got the Bank of England minutes, which means you're probably going to see something as far as a news conference later on that day. 8:20 gold and currencies open up. 8:30, we got the PPI and housing starts. You don't want to miss tomorrow at 8:30, guys, so be here for that. 9 o'clock crude oil opens up. 9:30 U.S. Open. We've got a 10:30 crude inventory number. That's obviously going to be a one I want to watch for tomorrow, 10:30 for crude oil inventories, and then, of course, we'll transition to lunch at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Let's recap. Trade room tomorrow opens up at 7:45 Eastern Time. Want to remind you guys, if you're watching this video on our YouTube page right now, there's 2 links in the description. One for our 12-month track record, the second to register for our free 3-week trial. Tomorrow's a Wednesday, so no free webinars tomorrow, but come back on Thursday for our next webinar. Beginner's course is highly recommended for all free trial members because it gives you guys our setups and our rules. And guys, always, price increase coming February 1st. Supply and demand. Lots of demand right now.